Hello, thank you for joining us today as we have a discussion amongst ourselves at Northlands Wood Primary Academy on reading. We are going to delve deep into the world of reading, something that we are all extremely fanatical about at our school, because we know the real true value of it, because it enhances lives right from the beginning through till when you move on in age. It's something that all through our lives we will draw on, and it leads into so much of our learning across the school. I'm joined here today by Mrs Meagher, who's our literacy leader, and also Mrs Hutton, who is one of our 100 book experts. So without further ado, let's move over to Mrs Meagher, who is going to talk to us about reading starting at a young age and how important it is in our lives.
Well, thank you, Mr Sears. Great to be here today and to have the opportunity to talk about books, which is one of my favourite subjects. So reading, it starts at a very young age. Even actually, get the basics before you actually start the reading is all about vocabulary and picking up that language, and it's lots of conversations, it's talking at home, even back to the point where the baby's in the womb, it's talking to that fetus, to the baby, reading even at that point. It's having that conversation, it's getting children involved with nursery rhymes so they can hear that pattern. Right? Most nursery rhymes have like a beginning, a middle and end, so that's the early point of stories, and it's surrounding yourself with all this vocabulary, lots of talking about it. When you're walking down the street, looking at signs, picking out sounds, and looking around, and just generally even going to the library, getting involved at such a young age. So as soon as the children walk in the door at Northlands Wood Primary Academy, they're going to be carrying on that journey and continue hopefully that passion, because every member of staff here is just full of passion for reading, and that's what we want to it to come across for those children and for the parents as well. So it's important that actually once you've learnt to read, that you're then turning it around to do reading to learn. Getting that, once you've got that fluency, it's then moving on to those comprehension skills, that you're then able to talk about books with other people and get them involved, because that's how exciting reading can be. It's that sharing and that conversation.
And sharing of books is something which is key to how we do reading at Northlands Wood, which is why Mrs Hutton has joined us today. Mrs Hutton is one of our 100 book experts, and she is going to talk to us now about our 100 book project, how it was born and how it has evolved to the exciting thing it is now. So Mrs Hutton, thank you for joining us, and tell us a little bit more about the 100 book project.
Thank you. So in September, that's when the project first started and we launched it. So we compiled a list of 100 books to read before you leave our school. And the idea behind the 100 books is that they are books that have been recommended by authors, lots of famous authors. We sometimes use social media to pick the authors out. So we're always looking for what's really relevant at the moment, what's really exciting, but also what's the old classics that shouldn't be lost and shouldn't be forgotten about. So the 100 books start with about 30 picture books for your early readers, but also for your older readers as well, to go back and enjoy and read, because picture books are for every age and not just for the younger audience. We use them in year 6 all the time. And then sort of around the middle of the list, you've got your kind of early key stage 2 readers, where they've just begun chapter books and they're starting to really get into stories. And then further up the school, you've got your bigger chapter books for your older children to enjoy. And they're not just for the children of our school. We've had lots of parents who have gone, oh, I've read lots of books on that list as well, and oh, I'm really looking forward to reading that again, because I remember reading that as a child. So it's brought back a lot of happy memories for parents as well, and grandparents even, who have looked at the list and gone, oh, what a wonderful book, that's a classic. So it's, again, bring that book talk back, where they can sit down with their family and go, oh, I remember this book, and let's read it together, and they have all these memories that they can bring to that book rather than just reading it from scratch. So with the 100 books as well, every single book, we are very lucky in the school that one adult has been assigned an expert to the book. And what that means is that, for example, I'm the expert of this book, The Goldfish Boy. So when your child or you have finished reading that book and you think, oh, I really want to talk to somebody about that book, I really loved it, or I really didn't like it, I really need to just talk about it, they can come to the expert in the school. So children can come to me and they can say to me, and I can ask them questions, I can say, what was your favourite part of the story? What didn't you like? What did you like? Does it remind you of any other stories? And I have lots of children, they come to me and say, I really liked this book. Can you recommend any other books that are similar to it? And we can obviously say, yes, I've got this book that you would like, or various other books. And we can also say, well, if you like this book, there are others in the series. Many of the books on our list are the first in the series, or we have authors where there's 3 or 4 books on that list, or sometimes the books aren't even on the list and they're not part of the 100 books, but we can say, oh, you know, this author has written many more since this list, go and read their other books. So the expert idea is just so that someone has a chance to talk through the story, because we think that's really important in Northlands Wood, that book talk, that talking it through, enjoying it with somebody, so that it's not just a solo read and you put it to one side and you never think about it again. It's enjoying it with somebody else.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to talk about something that we are so passionate about and something which is so important in all of our lives. So we hope that you will go out from today, you will have an increased love of reading and also a better understanding as to why reading is so important, and also the desire to want to read some of our 100 books on our list. If you want to find out more about that, you can go and visit our Northlands Wood Primary Academy website, where you will find the link to the list. And please do share with us how you get on with that. And if you would like any more information, please do contact us. As you can tell from today, we will always be happy to talk about reading, and it's something which is so important. So thank you for joining us. Have a good rest of your day, whatever you are doing. Bye for now. Thank you.
Hi, so I'm Mrs Hutton, and this is one of the books that I am an expert in from the 100 books list. So this book is called The Goldfish Boy by Lisa Thompson. It's quite a new book and she's quite a new author. So I'm just going to read you a little extract from the book and then I'll read the blurb so you know a little bit more about what the book's about. To Matthew Corbin from Melody Bird. Subject, police. No, I didn't see anything. Did you? M. To Melody Bird from Matthew Corbin. Subject, police. I saw him playing in the front garden earlier, that's all. Matthew. Mum's car crawled along the street and she parked outside old Nina's house because our driveway was blocked. She rushed over to the search party, her hand went to her mouth. Melody's reply flashed up on my screen. To Matthew Corbin from Melody Bird. Subject, police. Oh wow, you're probably their best witness. And did you see anything strange? Nothing at all. What about that kid, Casey? Was she playing too? Wasn't Mr Charles with him? Mel. I groaned. I should have kept my mouth shut. To Melody Bird from Matthew Corbin. Subject, police. No sign of Casey or Mr Charles. Mr Jenkins went for a run and that was it. Matthew. Our front door opened and Mum yelled up the stairs. Matthew, have you heard? Isn't it awful? I'm going out to join the search party now. I'll speak to you later. Okay, darling? So that's just a little extract from the book and it might give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on, but I'm just going to read the blurb so you have a better idea. So this story is about a boy called Matthew and he likes things to be sparkling clean, surfaces, everything he touches has to be clean. And he loves staying safe in his home, in his bedroom. He makes lots of notes about his neighbours. He watches them out the window, makes all kinds of notes on what they get up to. He hates germs, going outside and feeling like a disappointment to his mum and dad. But one day, a toddler staying next door to him goes missing. And Matthew finds himself at the centre of the mystery. Every one of his neighbours is a suspect. And Matthew is the key to working out what happened. Even now, his own secret is beginning to unravel. So this story is all about finding friendship, when you're lonely, and hope when all you feel all the time is fear. So this is a really, really lovely book, and I think lots of children nowadays you can relate to Matthew and how he feels when he's scared of germs and other things going on. This is a really nice book for that kind of feelings. If you like this book and you finish this book and you've already read it, I would recommend reading Wonder, because it's very, very similar in different ways.
Hi, I'm Mrs Meagher. Today I'm going to be reading one of my favourite picture books, which is Peace at Last by Jill Murphy. Now, I'm not actually the expert in this, but Mr Johnson kindly said it was okay for me to read this to you because it is one of my favourites. So I'm just going to read you a short piece from it. The hour was late. Mr Bear was tired. Mrs Bear was tired, and Baby Bear was tired. So they all went to bed. Mrs Bear fell asleep. Mr Bear didn't. Mrs Bear began to snore. Oh, snore, went Mrs Bear. Snore, snore, snore. Oh, no, said Mr Bear. I can't stand this. So he got up and went to sleep in Baby Bear's room. Baby Bear was not asleep either. He was lying in bed pretending to be an aeroplane. Meow, went Baby Bear. Meow, meow. Oh, no, said Mr Bear. I can't stand this. So he got up and went to sleep in the living room. If you liked reading Jill Murphy, she has lots of other books out there as well. Whatever Next, that you might have heard of, and also On the Way Home are also great stories. So pick up the book today and get reading.